Everyone, and welcome to Around the Issue. For the first time, a dynamic teacher, a very committed teacher in the framework of teaching and learning English in Senegal. The one who first taught us that doing the oral exam could be friendlier. So together, let's welcome Miss Mathiam Thiam on our stage. Welcome. Our next guest is not somebody to introduce to you guys, because I know you know him, and his commitment and his dynamism, his willingness to share are without equal. I want to name the Lord of CLT, the one who gave me the name of ELT Does Visit. I have the honor to welcome Mr. Mathiam Thiam on the Obama Show.
Thank you, Obama. Thank you for having me.
All right, so before we begin, let's have the general presentation with Roque Landoy.
In Senegal, after 7 years of secondary studies, learners are tested to assess their aptitudes and skills in the different subjects of the national curriculum. English is no exception. The national syllabus sets clear guidelines as to how to design a well-structured test, which meets all the requirements of the communicative language teaching approach for both the BFEM and baccalaureate. Now, despite the above mentioned, in recent years it has been noted several shortcomings. One of the most recurrent and noticeable problems is the errata on students' exam papers. In today's debate with our prominent guests, we hope to have some answers and clarifications on the following. What is getting in our way to better design, proofread, and organize exams? What should be done for a positive change? And finally, how can we safely implement those measures?
All right, thank you very much, our beautiful, the voice of TOS, Roque Landoy. Thank you very much for this help, and welcome to the show. It's my honor to have you both, and as somebody used to call you the giant of ELT in Senegal, and it's more than a privilege to have you on the show, to tackle issues such as our national exams, how we prepare our kids, how we design the tests, how we do other things to make sure that our students get the chance to succeed. And well, you're going to talk more about the oral exam as you taught us that it could be more friendlier. And we hope at the end of this session we'll come up with ideas that will help teachers like me and those who are following to really do it as it should be. And my first question goes to both of you. I will give the floor to Mr. Mathiam after you introduce yourself. Can you tell us about your impression of the way our exams are managed and the exam papers and the result this year?
All right. So the first question regarding the national exam, you said? Mm-hmm. Now, national exam, the way they're designed, there's a lot of room for improvement. Mm-hmm. And if you have noticed this year, the baccalaureate, there has been groundbreaking improvement as far as the L1 is concerned. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, the LV2 was unnecessarily long and detailed. I think that when we come back over it, mm-hmm. we can find some more improvement.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this answer. There's some question to you. Your impression?
Yeah, my impression is that the papers are well designed. Mm-hmm. I had the same remark as Mr. Mathiam about the length for the second paper. The length and the lot of details. I think he's absolutely right. Could be more concise and shorter.
All right. Okay. And this question goes to you. As Africans, it's attached to our cultures. We always trying to see what's happening next door to see if what we're doing is good. compared to our African neighbors, what do you think is the difference between the way we manage exam papers and theirs?
We're much better, I think. I was privileged enough to have been invited last year by Guinea-Bissau people. Mm-hmm. And to tell you the truth, mostly in terms of expertise, in terms of teacher training, we're much far ahead. Mm-hmm. I think we should look into ourselves, first of all, to see how we can better ourselves, but not compared to the others. You see what I mean? I think that we favorably compare with the others.
All right.
To tell you the truth.
When it comes to the result.
The results, well, you cannot isolate English from the educational system. It's a part and parcel of the educational system. The educational system in a very difficult strait. We are in trouble.
Right. Right.
If you see the results this year are down to a dramatic low now, which means that English cannot be an island in an ocean of mediocrity. If I may put it that way.
Sure.
See? So what is happening in French will definitely interfere with what we're doing in English. You see what I mean? In terms of general level.
Okay.
So I think we need to take to task all those problems.
All right.
But it's a multifaceted, very complex issue.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Sure.
On this 22nd edition of the English Language Day, you brought something new to all of us. I mean, having the oral exam without text. Many said, wow, they have to bring the text. And you said, no, you don't have to bring the text. But you can still make it, organize it in a very friendly way. What is the aim of making it, organizing the exam in that way?
Thank you, Seydou, for the question. I think, as I put it in the presentation, we need to make the students relax. Okay, so as we can get the best from them. As the exam is already stressful, so the teacher has to use strategies that could help him or her get the best from all candidates.
All right.
That's why I think it can be friendlier.
Okay, and for teachers who are watching and some of them who tried it during the last exam, before we go any further, it's important to know if it's your proposal or it's something that has been approved by the Bureau d'Anglais, or what is it?
Yeah, what happened was in Fatick, I was talking to Eugene Sadibou, and I told him that I'm really frustrated how people keep on using text at the exam and also using text as a basis of our teaching. Our syllabus is not a text-based syllabus. It's not a grammar-based syllabus. So we need to abide by what the national syllabus asks us to do. So what I propose is, if you allow me to make a presentation on the oral exam, I would do it. And he said he would love to co-present with me.
Okay.
That's where the idea comes from.
Yes. What is confusing here is that teachers have been doing it over years before your presentation. That's what have been done over the last 10 years, 20 years. And have you, as dean or your organization or ATES or any authority, think about that before? I mean, not having the text as an obligation.
Yeah, I mean, recently the National ELT Committee met and came up with a decision that was widely shared even in the social networks like Facebook. I saw it on Facebook. There is an arrêté that says that, inspired by us, that the oral exams is not text-based. It's not text-driven. It is topic-based. It is theme-driven or situation-based.
Okay,
that's very clear.
In our framework, as teachers, every answer, introduce us to greater questions. And the question here is, even though it is good the way we do it, making it friendly, I did the same during the exam this year, and I really had students speak the language. But here the thing is, do they, teachers, did they get the right information, or what should be done today to prepare them? Because some of them, they can't do it, to tell the truth. Some they said I didn't have the information. Some said this is the way it should be done. What should we do right now to prepare both students and teachers? Because during your presentation, somebody said it, they memorize everything and they come with ready-made answers. So how do you think we should prepare students and teachers for this way of?
First of all, I think about the official notice saying that there are changes where we should stop using the text. This one has been widely shared. And you will always see people who find fault in anything and refuse to abide by, everything that is set as a novelty, as change. But also there are some people who are not aware, and this is where the responsibility and accountability of our National Inspector General lies. I think they should talk to the ministry, talk to the National Examination Boards, so as whenever they are getting ready to close the envelopes, to print a lot of this notice and put it in an envelope, so as the president of the jury can tell the members of the exam boards throughout the country that they should do this. I'm sure if this happens, everybody will get to, trying to do oral exam without text.
All right, and please guys, I may not get all the relevant questions, so you'll be given the floor for questions. Maybe you can have better questions and more relevant questions than what I have here.
Let me add something to
all right, go ahead.
Okay, you pointed your finger at sorry, the l'inspection générale.
All right.
I mean, you did right. And this demonstrates the kinds of flaws that we have to take on that persist in our system. No matter how many notices you put out for people to hear, some people will hear but will not heed it.
Okay.
It's a different. They hear but don't heed it. Why? Because there is no general coherence or consistency between l'inspection générale, les CRFPE, les inspecteurs de l'enseignement secondaire. It's a hodgepodge of institutions, each not in one talking to the other. I don't know whatever is happening in this area as a teacher trainer on the one hand, and then as a inspector general.
Okay.
So there should be some kind of working relation, coordination. From that point on, down the ladder to the grassroots. Okay. But until we have this kind of articulation between us and them, we'll be shooting in different directions.
Okay. This question I'm going to ask you, I know that's what all teachers are asking. I ask myself, and everybody's asking this question. The way true or false should be graded. It's a problem.
True false.
True false. Some they say you have to find the right answer. And
giving me the opportunity
please help us
to sell my book again.
Please
buy my book.
Go ahead.
Buy my book. Come on.
All right.
I mean, no. Let's be serious.
We have problem with teachers. We have problem with that.
As a teacher trainer and a researcher, I have done a lot of work on that in that field. A lot of people. It's a matter of training. A lot of people say, okay, true, false. I'm sorry for the. You see what?
No problem.
They take it so lightly.
Okay.
Whereas it's one of the most fascinating discrimination activity that you might find in reading comprehension. Yes. Let me give you something. Just one example.
But the point is here, how they should grade it is true only.
Introduced. If you look at the baccalaureate this year, we have introduced something novel that simplifies the process. Instead of saying, is it true or false, we say, this statement is false or this statement is true. Now it's up to you to go and decide which passage, which word or which passage that is relevant enough to back up, to support what you have chosen.
And if
we have simplified it.
The student get it right, he say true and it's true. But he missed
No, that's not the point. Okay. You didn't get my point. I said, it used to be true or false. This year it's not true or false. Okay. It's only true or it's only false. You see what I mean? The difference?
Okay.
Now, once you say it is true, you have to justify it. Okay. Period. Once you say it is false, you have to justify it. It's not true or false anymore. Whereas, it should be true or false. Because it's a discrimination activity.
Okay.
Because before a judge, for example, I take this metaphor in my book, before a judge passes any judgment on somebody who is supposed to be guilty, you have to give the facts that prove that what you say is backed up by facts, pieces of evidence. It's the work of a criminal investigation in a crime scene. You have to pick up the pieces of evidence that say, this points to his footprints, this points to his fingerprints, this points to his DNA. Now, with all these pieces of evidence, you take it to a court of law, you carry the day. Otherwise, your case is dismissed. Now, we're teaching the learners how to discriminate in real life with this is true or false. Any decision they make in real life today is preceded by an analysis, weighing the pros and the cons, until you make the decision. I'm sorry, we have to talk about it again. It should not be kicked out of national exams. It's simply because some people don't understand the meaning of a true false.
Okay. My last question before we give the floor to the audience. There have been frustrations from teachers due to the shortcomings on exam papers. Here the question is, are teachers really choosing those tests? Because some say maybe those who proposed are not teachers.
No.
Or what happened?
The buck stops with us, Inspector General.
And the BFM?
Of the BFM, of course.
Okay.
Now, what happens is we ask teachers at the grassroots level to send us their exam proposal. They send it to a select committee at l'Office du Bac. When their job is done, that's where we come into play. I come into play, all the other inspectors, come into play. And we make the final decision. If you think that this exam is not good, it's my responsibility.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, yours.
Yes. If it is good, of course, it's...
No, the question is that, the concern is that who to blame or who's responsibility. Of course, it's important.
No, it's a question of accountability.
But we need to move forward. What should be done now to avoid those shortcomings?
We need teachers who are better trained.
Okay.
The problem is we don't have enough trained teachers to go around.
Okay.
That's the problem.
All right.
Until we have that, we're going to have to do a lot of downstream fiddling, tinkering, repairing things at the last minute. You see? But it's a system. Now, in a system, there is an intimate, integrated relationship of all the pieces and parts of the system. If one part of the chain is loose, the chain is not going to hold very strongly.
All right. Thank you so much. My last question before we give the floor to the audience. Still with the oral exam. You gave a presentation, everybody appreciated it. It's great. But what's next? What's next? What are you ready to do to let teachers hear, all teachers get the right information? What are you ready to do?
I will keep presenting on how to change the national exam, but also I haven't finished that job, but I'm working on a battery of exercises that could help the teachers in learner trainer, mainly in terms of speaking, activities that we could do in our respective classes. And when I finish the job, I'm going to share it with everyone.
Thank you so much. We're running out of time, but I promise that we'll have special shows with Mathiam and one with Mathiam to talk more about the exam, because we are running out of time and they got a lot to share. Will it be recording at yours?
If you come to my place, you'll be welcome.
I will, of course. And guys, get ready. Majo, Asan, and Dad Rezi, get ready for that. Thank you very much. Next time, best time.